I've been thinking about something. We were taught a lot of things growing up: how to work hard, how to be reliable, how to build expertise in something and commit to it, how to show up day after day and get better at what we do. But there's one skill that almost nobody in our generation was ever really taught. And right now, in the middle of everything that is changing, it might be the most important one of all. By the way, if we've never met before, I'm Tammy. And one of the things I've noticed both professionally and personally is how uncomfortable it can feel to be a beginner again after years of becoming really good at what you do. This channel, Still Relevant, is about helping people 40 plus stay confident, capable, and relevant in a world that is changing fast than most of us expected. Last week, we talked about what AI actually really is, why your experience is an advantage. Today, I want to go a level deeper because I think there's something more fundamental than which AI tools to use or which prompts to try. There's a skill underneath all of it, and understanding what that skill is and that you can build it at any age changes everything. Before I tell you what the skill is, I want to ask you something. Think about a time in your life when you had to start something from scratch, learn something you have never learned before, navigate something that had no manual, maybe a career change or a new role or a difficult season of life that forced you to figure things out as you went. Did you manage it? I'm willing to bet the answer is yes. So tell me in the comments, what's something you've had to figure out from the scratch that surprised you with what you were capable of? I'm asking because I think your answer will matter before this video ends. So the skill, it's not coding, it's not data science, it's not prompt engineering, it's this: the ability to stay a learner. Not just when it's comfortable, not just when you already have some context, but especially when something feels new, unfamiliar, or slightly outside what you thought you knew. Some people call it learning agility. I prefer a simpler way of putting it. It's the willingness to say, I don't know this yet, and that's okay. Here's the part that stops most people. It's not the difficulty of learning something new, it's the discomfort of being a beginner again after years of being very good at what you do. Can I be honest with you for a second? One of the hardest things about being experienced and capable is that being a beginner feels strange. When you've spent 20, 30 years, even 10 years of getting really good at something, being new to something can feel like a step backwards. It isn't, but it can feel that way. Have you ever held back from trying something because you didn't want to look like you didn't know what you were doing? Most people have, and I have as well. Here's something worth understanding. The generation that's now 40, 50, 60, 70, we were educated and trained during a period when the world changed slowly enough that you could build expertise once and rely on it for decades. You went into a field, you mastered it, and you built a career. That was a perfectly sensible strategy because the ground beneath you stayed mostly stable. What nobody prepared us is for a world that changes significantly every few years, even now every month, where the tools change, where the skills that you've got here are still valuable, but they're not sufficient on their own. Where staying relevant requires a different kind of ongoing investment, not more expertise in the same thing, a new relationship with learning itself. And here is what I find genuinely exciting about this: that relationship. You can build it at any age. In fact, there's an argument that people who've already navigated significant change in their lives, career changes, family upheaval, difficult seasons, are better equipped for this than they realize. Because AI is not one-time thing to learn and tick off a list. It's a moving landscape. Tools are constantly changing, capabilities are expanding. What's new today would be normal in a year. The people who will navigate that well aren't necessarily the ones who know the most about AI right now. They're the ones who've developed the habit of staying curious, of trying things, of getting it wrong sometimes and adjusting, of not waiting until they feel fully ready. Because fully ready never comes. So think about the most adaptable people you know. I'll bet they're not the ones who find change easy. They're the ones who've learned to move through discomfort without letting it stop them. That's the skill. And it's exactly what using AI, starting small, trying things, building confidence gradually develops. But here is the part most people miss. You don't build the skill by reading about it. You build it by doing something small that feels slightly outside your comfort zone consistently. So let me ask you this. What's one small thing you could try this week? Just one that would feel slightly new, not overwhelming, not a full course or a weekend workshop. One thing. It could be you using ChatGPT to brainstorm an idea you've had sitting in a notebook for years. Doesn't matter which one. The point is just try. Because that one small act, that willingness to start is exactly the muscle we're talking about. Tell me in comments what you're going to try, even if you think it's too simple. I want to come back to the question I asked at the start. The thing you had to figure out from the scratch. The challenge you navigated without a manual. You did that. Which means you already have the skill I've been talking about. You've already proven you can learn something new when it matters. AI isn't asking you to become someone different. It's asking you to do something you've already done, approach something unfamiliar with enough curiosity to give it a real chance. That is not a technology problem. That is a confidence problem. And confidence, that's something we can work on together. Here's what I love you to sit with after this video. It's not a task, just a question. What would you do differently if you genuinely believed it wasn't too late? No pressure to answer out loud. But if something comes up, I'd love to read it in the comments because the answer to that question is usually where we need to start. Here is the idea I want you to live with. The skill that matters most in the age of AI isn't a technical skill. It's the willingness to stay a learner. And that skill has no age limit. If you want to put that into practice today, I've put together a free 2-page guide called 5 Things AI Can Do For You this week. 5 practical things with the exact prompts you can copy straight into ChatGPT or your Claude. No setup, no prior knowledge needed, just a good place to start. The link is in the description below. If this sparked something for you, subscribe. One video a week, always built around something you can actually use. And if someone in your life has been telling themselves it's too late to start or is moving too fast, share this with them. The future doesn't belong to the people who know everything. It belongs to the people willing to keep learning. And if you're watching this, I think you're already one of them. I'll see you next week.